Hemisection of the spinal cord means one half of the spinal cord, one side laterally, is transected. One half means either left half or the right half of the spinal cord is injured, and the cause remaining the same, either it is a penetrating trauma or a tumor or some compression from the outside the spinal cord or extramedullary lesions. The hemisection of spinal cord is also known as Brown-Sequard syndrome. So in hemisection of the spinal cord, the changes occur, some of the changes occur immediately. They are known as the spinal shock, like that of complete and incomplete transection. Immediate effect are the stage of spinal shock, and it is similar. All the reflexes are lost, all sensory or motor and all visceral activities are lost. This is known as the stage of spinal shock. Then next stage is the late effect. Late effect is similar to that of complete and incomplete transection, that is the reflex activity, but here it is called Brown-Sequard syndrome. So if the patient survives spinal shock, then typical motor and sensory changes occur after recovery, and these changes are known as Brown-Sequard syndrome. These changes can be studied at the level of hemisection, and second number, changes below the level of hemisection and changes above the level of hemisection. So these changes are studied in three headings: changes occurring at the level, below the level and above the level of hemisection. Talking about the changes at the level of hemisection, we will study in two forms: changes on the same side and changes on the opposite side. Here also we will study the sensory changes and the motor changes on each side. So talking about the changes at the level of hemisection, on the same side, sensory changes will be, all the sensation will be lost. That is, there will be complete anesthesia at the same side of lesion. Why? Because due to complete damage to the posterior nerve root, posterior horn cells and some of the spinothalamic tracts which have crossed to the opposite side. So all the sensations will be lost. Posterior column tract, posterior nerve cells, nerve root, grey matter, all will be lost. Talking about the motor changes at the level of hemisection, on the same side, there will be complete lower motor neuron type of paralysis. Why lower motor neuron type of paralysis? Due to damage to the anterior horn cells at that level, because the grey matter will also be damaged at that level. So anterior horn cells will be damaged, and anterior horn cells comprise of lower motor neuron. So just at the level of transection, the motor changes will be complete lower motor neuron paralysis on the same side of the lesion, and this includes flaccid paralysis of the muscles. All the reflexes are lost, whether superficial or deep, all the reflexes are lost. Muscle power is lost and muscle degenerates and wasting occurs. On the opposite side, sensory changes are loss of pain, temperature and crude touch. This is due to loss of the anterolateral spinothalamic tract. This is because the fibers which have crossed to the opposite side, they are transected. So they supply the other half. As these pain, temperature and crude touch sensation of the opposite side are taken up after crossing by the same side, which is now transected. So on the opposite side, there will be loss of anterolateral spinothalamic tract, leading to loss of pain, temperature and crude touch, whereas posterior column tract remains intact. So fine touch, tactile discrimination, tactile localization, vibration, proprioception, stereognosis are intact at the level of lesion on the opposite side. And talking about motor changes, there are no motor changes, as most of the motor tracts are crossed at the level of medulla, forming the lateral corticospinal tract, and only some fibers which are forming the anterior corticospinal tract, they cross at the level of the spinal cord, and if they are damaged, then only very mild effect is there. So we can say no motor changes occurs on the opposite side at the level of hemisection. Now changes occurring below the level of spinal cord transection, hemisection, are again studied on the same side and on the opposite side. On the same side, first we talk about sensory changes. There will be dissociated sensory loss, that is not complete loss, but some type of sensory loss is there and some is intact. And what is that? It is because of the injury to the posterior column tract on the same side, and no injury to the spinothalamic tract, as the posterior column tract do not cross in the spinal cord and remain on the same side. So the fibers from below will reach to the level of transection, and this will lead to loss of posterior column tract. And what is this? Fine touch, tactile localization, discrimination, vibration, proprioception and stereognosis will be lost. But spinothalamic tract, after relaying the spinal cord, they cross to the opposite side, and the fibers are going from the opposite side. So there will be no injury to the spinothalamic tract. So pain, temperature and crude touch will be intact on the same side. About the motor changes, there will be upper motor neuron type of paralysis. Why upper motor neuron? Because the fibers coming from brain to the spinal cord of anterior horn cell will be transected, because injury is occurring higher and we are talking about lower level. So the fibers which are coming from cerebral cortex are transected, so they form upper motor neuron type of paralysis, which means there will be spastic paralysis, the tone will be increased, there will be loss of superficial reflexes, but deep reflexes will be exaggerated. Babinski sign will be positive, and there will be rigidity of the limb and no degeneration and wasting of the muscles are there. Some degree of vasomotor changes in the form of dilatation of blood vessel and fall in BP may be there, which can be restored after some time. Talking about the opposite side, the sensory changes will be just the opposite. There will be injury to the spinothalamic tract, because they are the cross tract, and no injury to the posterior column tract. So on the opposite side, pain, touch and temperature will be lost. Pain, crude touch and temperature will be lost, and posterior column sensations are intact. And motor changes, there are usually no motor changes on the opposite side below the level of lesion. So in short, we can say that below the level of lesion, there is extensive motor loss and a little of sensory loss. And on the opposite side, there is extensive sensory loss but little motor loss below the level of lesion. So changes above the level of spinal cord transection. On the same side, sensory changes are band of hyperesthesia, that is increased cutaneous sensation is present in one or two segment above the level of lesion, and motor changes include twitching of the muscles again in upper one or two segments. Both these changes occur due to irritation of these nerve endings by the cut nerve endings below. So these cut nerve endings, they secrete some substance which are irritating to these spinal segment just above them, causing a band of hyperesthesia and twitching of the muscles just above the level of lesion. And on the opposite side, there are no sensory and no motor changes. Some regional peculiarities are there in hemisection of the spinal cord. If hemisection occurs in the cervical region, then apart from these changes we have studied, other changes will be constriction of the pupil due to the damage to the dilator fibers which are coming from T1, T2 and T3 anterior nerve roots. Then there will be loss of the jerks like triceps, biceps, supinator and pronator jerks. Then there can be paralysis to the diaphragm because of involvement of the phrenic nerve. If hemisection occurs at the level of lumbar region, then there will be loss of knee jerk and disturbance in micturition. If hemisection occurs in the lumbosacral region, then there will be loss of control of bowel and bladder. Here you can see the changes occurring at the level and below the level. They have missed the changes at above the level. Above the level, on the same side, sensory changes will be twitching, hyperesthesia, and motor changes will be twitching of muscles. Then on the opposite side, no changes. Then at the level of the lesion, there will be loss of all the sensation and low motor neuron type of paralysis on the same side. And on the opposite side, there will be loss of the spinothalamic tract and no motor changes. Below the level of lesion, sensory changes will be loss of posterior column tract and motor changes upper motor neuron type of paralysis. And on the opposite side, there will be loss of pain, temperature and crude touch, that is spinothalamic tract, and minimum or no loss of motor system. Deafferentation means injury to the dorsal nerve root or the posterior nerve root. So as you all know, the Bell-Megendie law states that in the spinal cord, the dorsal horn is related to the sensory system and the ventral horn is related to the motor system. So when there is deafferentation or when there is the dorsal nerve root is damaged, then what will happen? All the sensations will be lost. All the sensations, whether posterior column tract sensation or anterolateral spinothalamic tract or the spinocerebellar tract or other minor tracts, all the sensations will be lost. Then areflexia, because in a reflex there is a sensory arc, then there is a spinal cord segment, and then there is a motor arc. So that sensory arc is absent, so areflexia. Motor tone will be lost and there will be weakness of in the movement of muscle. Again, why? Because afferent from the limbs, the proprioceptors and the Golgi tendon organs and the muscle spindle, afferents are not coming. So the tone cannot be maintained and movement cannot be done properly. Syringomyelia is a rare type of disease. It occurs in the grey matter of the spinal cord, especially around the central canal. And there is excessive growth of the neuroglial tissue followed by formation of cavity in the grey matter, especially around the central canal. So the changes occur are sensory changes are loss of pain, touch and crude temperature. Why? This is loss of the spinothalamic tract, especially. Why? Because it is damaging the grey matter, and this occurs bilaterally because it is occurring around the central canal, whereas the posterior column tract escapes, does not get damaged. Why? Because the fibers of the posterior column tract do not relay in the spinal cord and they go in the posterior white matter. So fine touch and all the posterior column tract sensations are not lost, but anterolateral spinothalamic tract, the neurons will be lost, leading to loss of pain, temperature and crude touch. Motor changes: initially flaccid paralysis of the upper limb muscle occurs because of involvement of the anterior horn cells. Later on, with progressive disease, there is spastic paralysis of the legs due to involvement of pyramidal and extrapyramidal tracts. Tabes dorsalis is again now a rare disease. It is a part of neurosyphilis, the third stage of syphilis, which is a sexually transmitted disease. In this disease, there occurs bilateral degeneration of the dorsal nerve root along with posterior funiculus. That is, white matter is also involved with the posterior dorsal nerve root. So dorsal nerve root plus the dorsal white matter is also involved. So the characteristic features are initially lightening pain, intermittent, any episodic pain, then the disease progresses, loss of pain sensation itself. So lightening pain is occurs due to stimulation of these pain fibers, irritation of these pain fibers. So initially pain is there, intermittent, and then loss of pain sensation occurs. Then trophic ulcer occurs. Trophic ulcer means the nerve supply is not there. The person does not know where to remove the leg from some impending danger. So the person can even walk on burning coal. So trophic ulcer means because of loss of nerve supply, the ulcers develop because the protective sensation to remove the leg is not there. Then Charcot joint means deformed joints due to repeated trauma. The joint become deformed. This is known as Charcot joints. Associated with anesthesia of central part of the face due to involvement of the fifth cranial nerve, and also anesthesia of the upper chest, inner border of hand, around the anus and over the legs. This is mainly due to involvement of the dorsal nerve root in the craniothoracic and lumbosacral region. The reflexes are lost due to loss of sensation, and sensory ataxia is there, that is loss of posterior column tract. So the person with eyes closed cannot locate his joints and cannot stand still. So sensory ataxia is there. Multiple sclerosis is a rare disease and it is a demyelinating disorder. That is, the myelin sheath is around the nerve fiber is damaged, and this involves very extensively most of the white matter. So this is also known as disseminated sclerosis, and it is a type of autoimmune disease. And then there is inflammation and demyelination along with gliosis and scarring. That is, scarring also occurs. That is, healing also occurs, and this is very rare disease. So the symptoms are varying because this nerve fibers are damaged, so it can lead to variety of manifestation, because any of the nerve can be involved. It can lead to limb weakness, it can lead to sensory loss, or it can lead to paresthesia, it can lead to optic neuritis, diplopia, vertigo, ataxia. So the manifestations are very varying, and it is not the first diagnosis to make. It is diagnosed by excluding the other diseases. Subacute combined degeneration of the spinal cord, also known as SUB-A. It is a type of degeneration of the spinal cord which is associated with pernicious anemia, where there is lack of the intrinsic factor which is responsible for absorption of vitamin B12. In this, there occurs demyelination of white fibers, and it is diagnosed that it is present along with anemia. It mainly affects the dorsal and the lateral column of the spinal cord, and the presentation is loss of position and vibration sense of the lower extremities, and sign of upper motor neuron lesion such as bilateral spasticity, exaggerated tendon reflex, and positive Babinski sign. So in sensory there is loss of position and vibration sense, and in motor there occurs upper motor neuron type of lesion, and this all occurs can be confirmed by peripheral smear, and by finding out the diagnosis of anemia combined with neurological deficit is known as subacute combined degeneration of the spinal cord, also known as SACD.